Hello everyone, I am D-Mind, the mind of one and all, and welcome back to another episode of Cupid. So, in the last episode, well, we just find out that a bunch of people are kind of dicks, like, people in general, but the Marquis seems nice, but with the way the tone this game set itself, I'm beginning to wonder. So yeah, we met Catherine and we met the Marquis, and Catherine is gonna perform, yeah. Catherine trudged up the wooden podium and walked towards the middle of the stage. The crowd's chatter died down. She curtsied in front of her audience, waved to her father, and stole a glance at Guillaume. The man gave her a tiny nod. She sat down in front of the piano, admiring the cream and ebony keys underneath her fingers. Her own piano was broken and beaten. Father had sold his horse for it. The A3 key never played, and the strings would creak when it was cold. But it had never failed her. She knew the keys like they were her own fingers. She whispered to the new piano softly, as if coaxing a beautiful untamed animal. "Let's be friends, okay?" She saw Rosa at the far end of the podium, watching her diligently. There was a renewed vigor in her blood. She could hear the keys calling out to her. "A song that would make him smile." She placed her fingers on the keys. She began to play. Alright. At the ring of the first few notes, it became apparent to the audience that this girl was something special. Here was a little girl, barely tall enough to reach the pedals on the piano, playing as if she owned it. There were times she'd miss a note or two, but that didn't matter. She played the song to make someone smile, and it touched everyone present. Her musical skill was far beyond her years. Her fingers caressed the keys as if she was making a flower crown, carefully weaving the petals. She knew the correct way to tie the leaves so they wouldn't tear, like all smart little girls did. As the piano sang under her hands, Catherine seemed to disappear right in front of the audience's eyes. She was just a vision, after all, somebody leading them down a dream. A dream of a garden, the springtime, the shade of a tree on a windy day. Okay. The couples in the audience tightened their grip on their hands of their partners. She closed their eyes and let the music saturate their soul. Sweet memories of youth, a first love, the yawn of a newborn. Okay, come on, this is a bit... Alright, never mind. Rosa's eye shone as she stared at Catherine. Her heart was captured by this image of her. A young girl swinging her hand to the music, smiling as the notes poured out of her. She couldn't take her eye away from Catherine's glowing face. Was this happiness? Was this love? She looked like she was in love. And she was, wasn't she? In her innocence, she was still in love with life. In love with her family, with her pets. In love with every new discovery. She was full of hope. It was a bittersweet feeling for Rosa. A happy teardrop rolled down her cheek. She wanted to warm herself in that hope if she could. In the audience, Guillaume and Catherine's father sat beside each other. "Sire Peri, your daughter is amazing." "She is, isn't she? I mean, pardon my arrogance, my liege. I am a very proud father, you see." "No pardon necessary, sire. Has she found a sponsor yet?" "The Duke of Versailles once spoke to me about it, but we have not made any arrangements." "Then I must steal her away as soon as possible." "Sire, I'd like to be Catherine's primary sponsor if that is alright with you." "Why, sire." "And to further cement my status, that piano she's playing right now, it is hers. I've bought it for her." Francois' eyes widened in astonishment. That is... Francois gulped. "That is beyond generous, sire." Guillaume smiled. "Well, I must make it hard for you to refuse me, you see. I took the opportunity of asking you outright. You see, the Duke might offer an extravagant piano plated in gold. In that case, I have no choice but to humbly concede." What? "I'm kidding, the Duke of Versailles is the worst miser you will ever meet." The man chuckled. Of course, I shall be paying for her musical tutoring as required, along with an ample stipend to accommodate your family. Ah, you don't have to look so surprised, Monsieur Parade. Your daughter is a star. There's an effervescence about her that enraptures the soul. There's no doubt in my mind that she will succeed. Thank you deeply, my liege. Please call me by my name, Messiah. Let me remind you, this generosity isn't without charge. Her tutoring will be done at my house. I want to monitor her progress. Apart from that, I very much like Catherine to visit me and play from time to time. Music is one of my true passions. Her presence would benefit my mood tenfold. Of course, sire. That is a small price to pay for all your offers. On the contrary, Messiah. You don't have to decide now. Kindly think about it. Thank you, my lord, Sire Gillam. After the performance, Catherine and Rosa went to the Marquis' garden to play. Francois and Gillam lingered on their table sorting out the details of Catherine's further education. Emily Perry wandered about the crowd searching for a familiar face, like her mother. She had arrived halfway through Catherine's performance, just in time to gush at her little sister's applause. Oh, little sister. Unfortunately, she couldn't find her father in the crowd. When she finally caught sight of the back of his head, she approached him hastily. Father, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. Emily stopped as she saw the man her father was talking to. It was none other but the Marquis himself. She fixed her hair consciously and curtsied. My lord, pardon my intrusion, but I didn't realize. Gillam smiled at her kindly. You are free to intrude any time, my lady. Emily smiled back, just as the rumor said the Marquis was easy on the eyes. To whom do I owe the pleasure of your acquaintance? This is my eldest daughter, Emily. Pardon me for not introducing her sooner. Charmed, Gillam offered her a seat. Emily sat down across the man. Well, it seems talent and good looks run in the family. Francois rubbed his neck. Yes, my daughters are my pride and joy. Thankfully, they both took after their mother. Surely not, Monsieur Parade. The eyes are yours. Earnest and loving eyes. Emily snorted at such sappy words. Her father was clearly basking in the compliments. If this really was the famous Gillam the rumors talked about, then he wasn't exactly much of a charmer, was he? She didn't know what all the fuss was about. The ladies in the house she worked for could not seem to stop talking about this man. Admittedly, there was something morbidly curious about the way he looked at people. Like he was always distracted and could only say words that were expected of him. I'm pleased to have finally met you, sire. I've heard a lot about you on my travels. All good things, I hope. Depends on the tabloid and the day of the week. Emily thought to herself and chuckled. You are a governess, I was told. Where do you work? With the Dimitri household, sire. Ah yes, I heard you were marrying into the family soon. Oh, father, I told you not to tell anybody yet. I didn't, but you know how people talk. Word travel fast. Pardon the comment then, my lady. Please. Your betrothed is a lucky man, I'm sure. The conversation endured through the afternoon. Small talk, musical composers, their little town. Catherine's musical background, Francois' students, Emily's work. Emily played with a napkin, offering droll opinions on the particularly droll topics. All throughout the exchange, Emily observed the infamous Marquis de Gaulle. Why infamous? This was him? The audacious, shameless flirt of the royal court and tabloids. I always knew there was more to him. According to rumors, he was able to bed both the widowed Countess of Devonshire and her daughter at the same time. What? And even had a tumultuous relationship with the Prince of Garnet. He didn't limit himself to royalty, or so the tabloids said. His latest fling was with an English poet, who they say almost killed him when he was caught with another man. Or woman. At this point, who knew what was real and what was a blatant lie made up by the newspapers? She had looked forward to meeting him, and here he was finally. talking about sampling the new bakery's creme brulee. She couldn't say she was disappointed exactly, but the Marquis was a depressingly normal man. Maybe even boring, Emily ventured. She watched as his gaze flickered across her hair and her nose before leisurely trailing away. How infuriating. She wondered if he would suddenly say something coy, or insist to dance with her, just something outrageous. Honestly, so she could shoot him down. This man whom everyone was interested in. That would be a small victory for reasonable women everywhere. But the Marquis was nothing but polite. He did not ogle. He did not touch unnecessarily. No audacious gestures or suggestive winks of the eye. He would not even look at her for more than 2 seconds. Maybe she was not pretty enough to flirt with. Emily bit her lip. She shouldn't be thinking that, but there were also times when that he would quietly look into her eyes when the conversation lulled. When the words spoken were without meaning, their eyes would converse further. To Emily, he started to look lonely underneath the facade of caprice. He seemed tired of all the gallivanting, the rumors and the numerous flings. We are all a little lonely, aren't we? Perhaps even he. He invited the family over to his chateau and commented on how empty the building felt sometimes. Music was his guilty pleasure. It got him through his cold nights, he said with a sad grin. How he wouldn't mind a warm soul to touch. And before she could stop herself, Emily had begun to imagine his lips on her neck. On one of those cold nights. Emily shook her head, trying to erase the thoughts in her mind. They were having a perfectly mundane conversation. She didn't know where those thoughts came from. Fortunately, her father didn't seem to notice. Music and loneliness struck a nerve with Francois Parade. He had immersed himself in his music tutoring, his students, and Catherine, ever since his wife had gotten sick. It had been 6 years, but sometimes the nights were cold. For Francois, the Marquis was speaking to his soul. He was a kindred spirit. He was in a pompous showboat, like all the other royalty Catherine had played for. The Marquis even had a wine collection he wanted to show Francois. Such a down-to-earth, generous young man. Emily, your face is flushed. Are you alright? I'm just fine. Just the sun, probably. This was not true, of course. The afternoon sun had already lost most of its heat. Thankfully, Catherine provided a distraction. She ran towards their little huddle and flung her arms around her father's torso, chattering happily about gardens and butterflies. A young ragged girl followed behind her. Emily wasn't sure how old the girl was. Her dirty blonde hair hid the left side of her face. You could just see faint traces of scars peeking through. A surge of motherly affection caught hold of her heart. Hello there, young lady. The girl looked down at her toes, but she gave her a shy smile. I see you made a crown of flowers. You look very pretty. Thank you, madame. Catherine gave it to me. Sister, this is Rosa. She's really nice. She knows the name of all the flowers in Sir Gilly's garden. Catherine, there you go again with your silly names. Sister, help me convince Papa to let Rosa stay with us. Catherine? Papa, please let her stay with us. She doesn't have anywhere to go. Now Catherine, that is not very nice. Rosa here is a girl. She's not a kitten you can just pluck from the street and take home, like you always do with stray animals. Goodness knows where we have all the stray cats of France living in our house. Yes, I know she's not a kitten, I know she's a girl. But shouldn't we take her home even more so? Francois sighed. Guillaume chuckled under his breath. He was clearly enjoying this exchange. Your daughter has some very unique views, Sir Parade. Well, Sir Gilly, what do you think? Huh? Guillaume's face lost his casual bystander look. Yeah, Marquis, I'm sure your father would follow your orders, right? Shouldn't we take Rosa home? Guillaume's brows forward at being put on the spot so suddenly. He stole a glance at Francois, who was silently pleading him with his eyes not to humor the child. He cleared his throat. Well, I'm sure it's up to your father since he owns the house. He will have to clothe and feed Rosa, you see. Yes, but I've got that all figured out. Ever since sister moved to work, nobody minds the house anymore. Oh, and I have to wash the dishes every time. Papa's so busy, and we always have enough food for the two of us. If Rosa stays, then I wouldn't be so lonely on my own. She'll wear sister's old clothes and we'll mind the house when both sister and father are away. She can wash the dishes sometimes and I'll wash them sometimes. Gilliam and Francois shared a look. And besides, if it were up to me, I have people take one girl home in their house and give her food. Girls don't even eat that much, not sure about boys. She thought for a bit. But I'm sure it's not too much that people can't take them home too. One time I ate one whole plate of potatoes and my stomach hurt. If Rosa was there, I wouldn't have eaten so much. Maybe. Gilliam couldn't help but laugh. Francois wrapped his neck in embarrassment. I'm so sorry, sire. She's very headstrong. Father, I'm sure taking Rosa in wouldn't be much trouble for us financially, yes? My new work pays better. I'm sure we can adjust. Well, about that. Perhaps if Rosa works in my household, it wouldn't be much of a burden to your family, Sir Pirit. Sir Gilly's great. You are truly a kind soul, sire. Not at all. I'm sure I need her help more than she needs mine. Isn't that right, Rosa? In that case, I would love to offer my home to Rosa. Although I'm still worried that this is supposed to be more complicated, sire. What about her family or her friends? Are we violating any laws? Perhaps, I'm not even sure. As long as it is consensual, sire, the details can be smoothed out later. The girl was quiet the whole time. She was looking at her toes or at Katrin. Rosa, do you have any family, relatives or friends you stay with? No, sire. My mother died a long time ago, but she guides me always. So please don't be compelled to mind me. We're the mother. No, don't go back to the streets, Rosa. It's September, it's going to be really cold soon. Sir Gilly will even give you work. Stay with us. But Katrin... Francois sighed in surrender. Alright. She can stay for the night. Papa! Just for tonight. Then we'll see if she wants to stay for longer. Katrin, you cannot hold people in their place just because you want them there, do you understand? If Rosa wants to leave, she may leave. You cannot keep her like an object. Gilliam cleared his throat. This is sound advice, Sire Pirit. Yes, Papa, I understand. Rosa, please make yourself uncomfortable. Yeah, please make yourself uncomfortable in our home. Please make yourself comfortable in our home. Thank you. Papa is the best. Katrin turned to Gilliam again. I mean, so far it's all nice and happy, but... Again, those rumors about the Marquis. Sir Gilly, don't you think if everyone with a house takes one person home, nobody would freeze in winter? You should make it into a law. They obey you because you're a Marquis. And because you're tall. Oh, so people obey my orders because I'm tall? What a compliment. Well, you are taller than my papa at least. He'll never be a Marquis. Francois pulled on his daughter's ear with embarrassment. Katrin, mind your manners. I'm so sorry, sire. Gilliam shook his head, his eyes trailing over the Pirit family. Emily watched him curiously. That same sadness once again surfaced for the briefest moment. You have a lovely family, sire. I am quite jealous. You make me want to settle down myself someday. He chuckled. Maybe. Emily's heart skipped a beat. Did he just look at her when he said that? She couldn't be sure. Katrin is perfect in the way she is. It is one of the reasons why I am very invested in her. Gilliam knelt down so that he was eye to eye with Katrin. He patted her head. You are a very intelligent and kind-hearted girl, Katrin. You are a star, Mon and Toil. Someday I know you will change the world. At least I like to see you try. Mother. Help me. What's wrong? My chest. What's going on? Heart attack? I can't breathe. No. What is going... Katrin! Lapik... I can't pronounce that. What's going on? It's funny, is it not? They always leave you. Such is the way of the world. The more you love, the more you lose. Oh, it seems like they will stay forever, but they never do. I'm the only one who stays, my lovely Rose. My love is the only love you need. You're always so weak. Always so loving to people who did not deserve it. I told you to get rid of her, didn't I? I told you to be wary. I knew it from the start, my Rose. She was nothing but selfish. She led you astray. 9. She led you astray. Katrin was a curse. She drove you to a love I warned you about. I knew she would just cause you pain. I'm glad she did. She's dead? I'm glad you're back to me. What? Why are we given such... Oh, I'm not glad she's dead, but... I'm so worried about you, darling. She almost led you astray. Away from me. Trust in Mother, darling. I'm just glad to have you back to myself. Your silence bothers me, child. She was important to me, Mother. I loved her. Mother only laughed as Rosa screamed out her pain. Rosa felt strong arms shake her awake. Rosa. She opened her eyes and was hit by a strange sadness that crushed her. She was dazed for a moment. Why was she so sad? And then she remembered. Her best friend was gone. How did she die? She was gone. Rosa? How are you feeling? Gilliam sat by her bed, her hand in hers. Rosa didn't realize she had been holding on to it tightly. In a fitful sleep, she broke from his grasp and clutched her knees. Rosa? She remained silent. I came to check on you. You went into shock and lost consciousness. I can only imagine how hard it must have been for you to see her like that. His words echoed in her brain, yet she did not register much of their meaning. What happened to her? Rosa still refused to speak and Gilliam fidgeted with his glove. The wake will take place as soon as possible, Rosa. I just wanted to let you know that she's being taken care of. He's hiding something. There was a slight triumph in Mother's voice. He wants to get rid of her body as soon as possible, don't you see it, child? Tell me you're not falling for this. Rosa was tired. Mother is always the cynic, would say such things. She hated anyone who came close to Rosa's heart. Rosa didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to deal with anything right now. All she wanted to do was wallow in her loneliness. To curl up inside the hole Katrin had left behind and sleep. Seriously, what happened to Katrin while we were passed out? My child, tell me you see it. Remember the fear in Katrin's eyes in her last days? Look at how he's unperturbed by Katrin's death. Well, guessing, yeah. There's an absence of feeling in him, don't you see? It goes beyond the usual apathy of loneliness. Did he even really love Katrin? How well do you even know him, child? I've known him for as long as I knew Katrin. Mother. He's a close friend. Is she saying that out loud? I didn't ask how long you've known him, but how well? Beyond the mask that he displays in public view, do you even know his past? Do you even know any of his ambitions or secrets? He was always a private man, Mother. Think back, child. Isn't it curious how all his past relationships have ended in disaster? Everything he touches crumbles. That is not enough to accuse him of anything. You idiot. He's different. He does not belong. You have felt it too, haven't you? Rosa looked at Gilliam with new eyes now. A hint of doubt slittered out from beneath her sadness. Rosa wanted something to blame, a cause for all her regrets. Gilliam seemed like the perfect candidate, didn't he? Yes, you're finally seeing it. Open your eyes, child. It made sense. Gilliam and Katrin's relationship began to pewter off into coldness right before she died. Her mental instability only served to compound the fracture in their relationship. Perhaps Gilliam was tired of her and had her killed off for convenience. Or perhaps Catherine, in her psychotic state, killed herself despite him. What happened to Catherine? Rosa stared at the man beside her. He's not to be trusted, child. He is a demon. Gilliam returned Rosa's angry stare with a resolute look. I know you must hate me, Rosa. I am aware that I only aggravated Catherine's condition with my presence. I know the feeling when I am not wanted. He stood up and a hurt yet kind look on his face. Just remember that I will always be here for you. As much as I was there for Catherine, even though she spat me out. Rosa bit her lip. When Catherine had refused to eat, it had been Gilliam who fed her and attended to her. Despite Catherine hurling abuse at him, he had tried to care for the sick woman himself. What happened to Catherine? Why is she yelling? Oh well. Lies. All lies. Keeping up appearances. Then, what is it that he has done, Mother? Catherine committed suicide. It was not by his hand that she died. Are you just going to leave it at that? Look at his face and tell me you trust him wholeheartedly. Rosa tried to search for the answer in Gilliam's eyes, but as always his face betrayed only few emotions. I don't know. Mother was screaming now. He killed her. I am sure he did, and you are letting him get away with it. Please, my head hurts. And you say you loved her. You never loved her, you selfish child. I've always known you were this selfish. Just like your father. Stop. You throw people away? Didn't you throw me away when I inconvenienced you? Admit it. You were secretly relieved I died. No, stop it. She screamed back at that last voice. Her mouth quivered. Gilliam stared at Rosa in shock. The outburst had accidentally come out loud. It pulled the plug that kept the tears from pouring out. Now her vision clouded as she blinked them away again and again. She was sobbing. She was not sobbing. She did not even realize her face was wet. Gilliam and Rosa stared at each other, both kindred in their sorrow. He knelt down by Rosa's bed and wiped her tears with his hand. He did not say anything while doing this, and Rosa stared blankly ahead. It almost stunned her how many tears a person's eyes could carry. I loved her too, Rosa. He said it after a while. I know what you're feeling. She didn't know if it was her own or if Mother's anger was somehow influencing her, but her chest heaved. She balled out her fist so tightly that her fingernails hurt. Shut up. She spat, and the man recoiled at the uncharacteristic bitterness of her words. Catherine was afraid of you in her last days. You did something to her. I know it. She could feel Mother inside her head, building up her anger. He has to be punished. You are to blame. He has to atone. I know you are guilty. He must be punished. Gilliam stared at her dumbfounded for a few seconds, but the man didn't try to appease her. He only stepped closer to Rosa and wrapped his arms around the hysterical girl. Let go of me. I hate you, let me go. But Gilliam didn't. If you need something to hate, then I'll accept your hate. But you must accept my comfort too. I need you too right now, Rosa. You're the only one who loved her as much as I did. Gilliam's words brought back Catherine in Rosa's mind. Almost at once, the anger was replaced with a sadness so heavy she couldn't breathe. Why was she so angry again? She was focusing on anger instead of pain. It was easier. The real tears came all for the loss of the girl they both loved. Tomorrow was not going to come. There was only right now, the loss, and two friends mourning a loved one. Rosa cried until she thought she wouldn't be able to stop, and Gilliam quietly held her. Slowly her weeping began to subside into sobs, and only then did he speak again. Stay in the chateau, Rosa. I know you are thinking of leaving now that Catherine is gone, but I can't let you wander the streets again. I'll take care of you. It's what Catherine would have wanted. Like a spell being broken, these words brought back her anger. How could you possibly know what Catherine wants? She pushed his arms away from her. She's dead. Gilliam's mouth pursed and he stepped away. I want you to go. Please leave me. Gilliam sighed and closed his eyes. I understand. He turned on his heels and left without another word. What happened to Catherine? Why would that girl suddenly just commit suicide? I guess we'll find out later. But I guess that is a good place to end it. So, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at DMindGaming if you have enjoyed. And I hope to see you again in the next episode.